The next question: can I be an utter fool in the world and still be highly spiritual? Why you want to be highly spiritual? Just be an utter fool? Why you want to be highly spiritual? More spiritual than others? Why you want to be on the top in everything? You want to be highly spiritual? Now you need a very high technique, you need a very high guru, you need a very high philosophy, a high scripture, you need a higher place. Now without coming to Himalayas, there's no way out for you. Why you want to be highly spiritual? There is no need to be highly spiritual. What you have asked is, can I be an utter fool in the world and still be highly spiritual? Somehow you want to be highly spiritual. If by being an utter fool you don't become highly spiritual, then you will drop the idea of becoming an utter fool. You want to be an utter fool again only to become utter wise deep down. What do you mean by being highly spiritual? You want to be highly wise, utterly wise. If you just become an utter fool, then that is enough. You don't have to become, you are. You are an utter fool. I am an utter fool. Rest everything you have to become. This you don't have to become. You are. You just need to realize it. And if you realize that you are an utter fool, then you become free from becoming wise. One who is a fool is a fool. One who thinks that he is wise is a bigger fool. But one who realizes that he is a fool is neither a fool nor wise. He is free from the both. In the very realization, he is free from the both. If you realize that you are an utter fool, then you don't become a fool, nor you become wise. You become free from being foolish and being wise. You become free from the both. When I say that you realize that you are an utter fool, then what I am trying to say is, if you realize that you are a fool, then you are free from becoming wise and fool both. If you realize that you are an utter fool, then you are utterly free from being foolish and being wise both. Then you are not a fool nor wise, you are just free. You are a free man. And this is being highly spiritual. This is a very high spiritual state. If you want to be highly spiritual, then realize that you are a fool. If you think intellectually, you will not be able to figure out. Your mind will say, if I realize that I am an utter fool, then how do I become free? I remain a fool? No, you don't remain a fool. Before realization, you are a fool. After realization, you are no more a fool, nor are you wise. You are free from the both. You can't intellectually realize right now. You can intellectually think, not realize. Thinking is not realizing. If you realize that you are an utter fool, then by default you reach the state of high realization. What you're calling as high spiritual state. Can I be an utter fool in the world and still be highly spiritual? If you realize that you are an utter fool in the world, then you are highly spiritual. You don't need to be highly spiritual separately. It's not that first you realize that you are an utter fool and then you start reading about spirituality, then you are trying to be spiritual. You are trying this method, that method. No, in the very realization of it, you become free. You no more remain fool, nor you become wise. You become free from both. You become utterly free. And now you don't need spirituality because you're free. One who is stuck needs it. One who is free does not need. Once you realize that you are an utter fool, you are free from being wise and being fool. You are free, not stuck. Now, do you need spirituality? Why do you need spirituality now? You do not need. Why do you need anything now? Do you need any technique now? Do you need any practice? You don't need anything. Do you need me? Not at all. You need all these things only when you are not able to realize that you are an utter fool. The realization of this will not lead you to a fullest life. The realization of this will lead you to a free life. A life which is totally free, uncorrupted, uninfluenced. You will experience great freedom. You will experience silence. And this is a high spiritual state, if you want to call it. I want to call it as a free state. In fact, to be really spiritual, you have to realize that you are a fool. Begin with this. Not you are God, you are Brahman. No. These things you enjoy, I know. All the gurus, masters have told you, you are Brahman, you are Shiva, you are highly spiritual, and you loved it. But you got lost. You got stuck in the love of it and you got lost. I don't want to do anything where you can again get lost. So what I say, your ego might not find it interesting enough. But what to do, I have to say. If you realize that you are an utter fool, then you no more remain an utter fool, nor you become utter wise. You become free from the both. You become free from all. And this state of freedom from all is the state of Brahman. This state is God. This state is Shiva in you. But if you aim for this state, you will reach somewhere else, not to this state. You will reach somewhere else and call that as Shiva. Call that as the God state. No. This state of freedom, which comes after you realize that you are an utter fool, this state is the non-dual state, the ever-free state. In this state, you are nothing and everything. I want you to reach to this state. No more wandering now here and there. Arrive to this state. And to arrive here, first you realize that you are an utter fool. This very realization is powerful enough to shatter the ego totally. This is enough. This is a high spiritual state.